All right, so here we are. We're jumping into the latest solos tournament. This is solos tournament number 7. I think I've participated in all of them, or all but one, maybe. I know I participated in the first one. I might have skipped one somewhere in there. Most of the time, I've done pretty good making it to the quarterfinals, just semifinals, once to the finals. We'll see how this round shakes up. This one started with 57 players total. Did kind of a round robinish, well, not round robin, but you played 3 games against different levels of players, and then got seeded into the uh, top 31 as it turned out, because you had to have at least 2 wins. So the number 1 seed got Davinator got a bye. Davinator won the last tournament, so that's why he got the number 1 seed. So here I am down here. I got the number 6 seed after the qualifiers, the elimination round, and got into the final 32. My first game was against Goliath here. I started to record it, but it was over pretty fast. He just made a blunder and let me do the G2 Sea Lion. So that game wasn't much to go in that game. So now we're into the Sweet 16 here, and I'm facing Antron Golden, who came in as the 11 seed. He was in the other semifinal game in the duos, so I know he's a good player. And I've seen he's been in a couple of the other tournaments as well, so he's a very solid player. You're going to see some of the regulars in here um, that tend to do well. Here, my partner got the number 2 seed. Go Terrence. But a lot of the familiar players. Who knows? Maybe I get another rematch with Snake. We've had a couple fun battles there. So, so yeah, that's what it looks like. So we're going to head into the opening of my game with Antron Golden. We went back and forth on the straight up flip. I was allies, he was axis. We went back and forth, progressively bidding to keep the allies. I ended up passing over the allies back over to Antron Golden with a bid of 6. So that means he is going to purchase a tank on US 1 and drive it into Mexico somewhere just to keep it out of the way. So here's our coming up. He did the standard 912 R1, but he got not so good results. He did have 6 live in West Russia, which is average, maybe slightly above average. I think 5 to 6 is the average. But Ukraine went poorly for him, and got, in fact, losing 1 fighter, and Ukraine included, in order to just get the wipe there. So a little bit tough situation for him. I guess he's worried about a direct shot onto West Russia here, which I don't even know if that's a possibility, to be honest. I can't even think of when I've done that. But what that did, by not having an AA or the fighter down here in Caucasus, it really leaves this open. That I think I'm going to go ahead, kill the 4 Russian units, and hopefully block this out and let my battleship, because if I take Caucasus, battleship gets to live in 16, because all they could do is a destroyer bomber, which most people aren't going to take that shot on there, because this fighter can't reach anymore, and this fighter can't reach anymore. So I'm taking a shot. It's like a 70-some% shot at him, and then I'm going to stack Ukraine and put a heavy, a little moderate mini stack up here in Karelia for him. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I haven't really decided my whole setup yet, so I'm kind of thinking it through as I'm talking here. But I did decide, I think, purchase-wise, I think I'm going to go 2 tanks instead of my normal bomber. I mean, something I learned from playing with Terrence, that, there's something to be said with that early pressure on Russia. I almost feel like I should go just a full 6-out tank rush. I've not done it against high-level play. I did that one game against somebody who was, I don't even remember the game, but I know it wasn't a very high-level game. And so I'm a little scared to go full on tank rush, because I just don't have the background experience on it. But I'm going to go a little mini rush. And so instead of getting my bomber, I'm going to get 2 tanks instead. So this could be interesting. I may completely misplay this. We'll see. One of the things that I've learned from my partner that I completely trust is, for the most part, going the 6 attack here, 0 on 10 instead of the 5-1 that I frequently use. We're just going to go the 6-0. So we're going to blitz a tank through. We got 1, 2, 3 fighters that can reach. I could take the artillery, but it only actually increases the odd by 3%. And I just kind of rather save the artillery, to be honest. Like I said, this 2 infantry, artillery, 3 fighters, and the battleship bombardment had like a 75% chance of conquering. So, and I'll still be able to easily stack Ukraine with the 3 fighters landing there. I don't know. This isn't my normal line. I don't see this very often. So, maybe it's a bad thing that I got a good result in Ukraine. I don't know. I may goof this up, but here we go. That's what we're going to give a go for. Go battleship. This is for your survival. There you go. Good shot. 3 more hits. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Nice. All right. That's even better than I'd hoped. Go subs. Get the sneak shot. All right. Now I think. Actually, I was thinking about bringing these guys up here instead, and not even worry about holding these this time because we're looking to push forward as much as we can. So yeah, we're gonna hold on to that. We're gonna go 3 here. We wanted 6 on into here. 5. And I can take 2 more infantry, or I can do an infantry and an AA. 2 more infantry. I figure he's probably going to strafe anyways, right? Well, let me finish getting my Ukraine stack first off. So I want 1, 2, 3, that's 12, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think that's what we got here would be solid. 6, 3, 3. Yeah, 633 is good. Could I go even two? Could I go two tanks? Didn't even think about that. That gives him a 30% shot with -5, and he's at that level that may not be a bad thing to take. So we'll leave it there. I mean, I could go. So we got 3 infantry going there. We'll have 4. We'll have 5 from the transport. I could do 5 infantry, 2 tanks. I mean, he doesn't really want to take that, right? Or how about a 5 infantry, a tank, and a AA? What if we did something like that? Then he's going to strafe, right? And, I mean, he's going to hit the... Would he risk the fighter? I don't think he'd risk the fighter. I think he would have to strafe with the rest there. And he's going to want to try to kill this too. For that matter, he's probably going to want to use a fighter to hit down here. So let's not even use the AA. Let's just... Hold up, do we got... I want two infantry to cover up my fighters, make sure they're safe. Oh yeah, I hate all these squiggly lines. Okay, so we got 6 infantry and a tank there. We got a full stack here. He's got to come down here with something, right? I mean, he's not just going to let me keep Caucasus and walk right into there. So he's got to come at least fighter and infantry, 2 infantry and artillery, right? So that would leave him 6 infantry, 1 artillery, 3 tanks to hit my stack of 6 infantry and a tank. I mean, he'll have the slight advantage, but not a big advantage there. It minimizes the benefit of this strafe, and it could go bad. So yeah, I think we're going to do that. I'm going to bring my other tanks up into Poland because I know this is stacked, so I can still threaten West Russia. I don't have to be up here to threaten West Russia, but they can be back up to go into there. We got our 3633. I'm just redouble checking my Ukraine. I've been making so many mistakes with this head cold lately. Double checking my Ukraine, making sure it's fairly safe. It looks like it is. We'll move these guys up. Don't want to forget about them. Alright, we got AA. We're going to bring up this way. I think I want to bring them through Poland. I haven't really done this. This may have been smarter to go through here to help support up there, but I can also shoot tanks up there and bring them here and balance it out a little bit more if he doesn't wipe them out. Oh, I'd be interested if you guys in the post in the comments what you think you would have done up here in Karelia, or if you would have done these stacks a little bit differently. So just to kind of review, this is a 633 stack, and this is 6 infantry, got the one up there, and a tank with just the 1 infantry and bellow. Curious to see what y'all think. Obviously, it's a strong position for Germany regardless, so I'm happy with that. And I know it's kind of crazy giving him the freebies over here. He's only got one transport anyways, but give him the free one. But I didn't really have much fighter, attack going on there anyway, so he was going to get it anyways. So he can build there, kill there, so he'll have double fleets. But he may want to get those fighters in, so we'll see what he does. I am putting the tank there just in case for some reason the battleship's. Why? The battleship's going to live, right? Battleship's not going to die. So let's start that over here again. Let's use artillery here. No reason to waste the mobility of the tanks in there because the transport's going to live. All right. I think that's it. I'm not used to this position. This is completely abnormal for me. So if there's a better way to optimize this, I'd love to hear it. Okay. So back to this game. Remember, I had a very aggressive Germany. UK did send. I think I had infantry and a tank live in there, if I remember right. I sent an infantry, 2 fighters, and a bomber. Killed the 2. Lost his infantry, so he did not take the territory, which is actually kind of important overall in the big picture here. As you recall, I'm going back and forth. I put the 2 fighters up here on Finland so that I could pressure both West Russia and Caucasus on Russia's. If R2 goes anywhere, then G2 I could pressure both of these. But the consequence of that is I'm giving up Morocco for free, and I'm kind of wishing I hadn't. I also gave up C-Zone 14 here for free as well if I had sat them in Northwest Europe. So I'm kind of regretting that to a degree now. I knew because I was landing my 3 fighters here, he was going to be able to build a carrier transport build. That was a given. In this play, I wasn't trying to stop the Atlantic buildup. That was a given. So that's neither here nor there where I had my fighters here. But I do kind of hate giving this up because this also means that there's different plays that they'll be able to play to corner my battleship, which he's already done a good job of his placements where he's dead zoned the battleship for next turn pretty much no matter what. So I got one more turn that I get to use as transport to move these 2 units wherever I want. So because he put his 2 fighters and infantry here, these 2 are immediately dead zoned. Now, the 2 fighters can't reach here, but because I gave up France free, he put his 2 fighters here that could go 1, 2, 3, land back here 4 with the carrier coming in. Plus, he already has a destroyer there, so he'll have at least 4 units sitting there. Plus, he'll have this destroyer's already moved into that destroyer, so he'll have 5 units there. So I would have to have built up enough to be able to have enough fighters and whatnot to be confident attacking 5 naval air units, which is probably not going to happen in the KGF. So, 15 is pretty much dead zone there as well then. And then 14, I could come over and take Gibraltar, and that takes his bomber out of it. But he'd still have the carrier, 2 fighters. Or if you think about it, US-1, he's going to have a destroyer here. He could put his fighter bomber up here, carrier here, carrier comes here, fighter goes 1, 2, 3, 4, bomber goes there, destroyer. So he could have a destroyer, fighter, bomber to attack him, which is pretty good odds. I don't know if it's worth losing a unit there and losing a shucking of moving these 2 units either fast forward up to Caucasus or down into Africa. So basically, they got one more turn and they're gone. Maybe I could do something silly like throw the battleship here and leave the transport in one of these spots. But leave the transport here maybe. That way he could do the 2 fighters and a bomber to kill the battleship, but then he wouldn't be able to kill that. And so who knows? Maybe I'll do something silly like that. I don't know. The destroyer will be there. The destroyer will be able to go after he clears that. So I don't know. Pretty much they're dead is the point I'm getting at. Now the good news, the positive news is the fact that he landed his fighters in Persia means he's giving up West Russia. If he brought everything here and the U.S. fighter here, West Russia's still dead. So West Russia is a given dead zone. Caucasus, because the UK did not take it, is also a dead zone for my tanks, infantry, and my 5 fighters. So he also cannot move his Russians there. So both of these are dead zoned for Russia too. So that means these units can either strafe Karelia and land back here in Arch, which is a possibility. But if he does that, then he's opening up the fact that I could stack Caucasus, which would be great for Germany to stack Caucasus on G2, right? I mean, he moved his UK back here in his tank so that he could dead zone that. So I don't foresee him doing that. I foresee him moving back into Moscow, regathering, dead zoning. That'll dead zone Caucasus. Unless I could get 6 fighters in there, I'd have to land 6 fighters of Japan on the mainland or within range to get to there. And that's probably not going to happen. And B, even then, it's 50-50ish enough. I think it's like 40-60 for him. But at that stage, it would be worth him taking the 1-2 shot on it. So 90% idea that Russia R2 is going to go here. Germany is going to stack West Russia. And I mean, they could pretty much do it on their own and be a 50-50, but I want to have a couple Japan planes in range to go help support them. And the good news is UK really can't come into Caucasus because it's dead zoned by Germany. Plus, I'll be moving these other guys forward into it, so that's not really gonna happen. So I don't have to worry about the awkwardness of the J fighters in there, and if there was a UK troops in the area, and then get some more Russians up or more Germans up there, and then they'll be solid. So that's the play. Unfortunately, with the true transport build, that means he's going to have some pretty good stress on Karelia. So that's going to be a little bit of disappointment. But whatever. I mean, we can't have everything, right? So Japan, I'm going normal purchase. Infantry tank, three transports are normal for me at least. And then it was a matter of if we're putting all this pressure on Russia, we want to put as much pressure on India too, right? Or we could just blitz right up the middle and just continue the pressure. But the fact that he's moving these guys back, I'd rather put the pressure on India and make him decide either move them back this way or just go ahead and reinforce Moscow altogether. So we're going to be looking for early pressure on India. On India. I might have said Italy. Sorry if I did. And then it's playing into all the what combination do we want to go? Pearl? Do we want to go Sech? Szechuan takes out the fighter immediately there, and then we could use the rest of Japan to dead zone C zone 45, and that would take out the other 2 fighters. He could sneak in that direction, or we could just take out Pearl, take out those 2, and not have to worry about dead zoning 45. I kind of want to kill this transport, and then I kind of don't want to kill the transport. I've decided. I've gone one way and then the other way, one way and the other. If I kill the transport, then I got to move the carrier battleship over here, right? Um, which kind of stinks. If I don't do Pearl, then I need to make sure to take and hold this from the bomber 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or the U.S. could go 1, 2, 3, 4 and kill my transports. Uh, or I can do Pearl and put my transports out here. So yeah, I think I keep going back and forth. I pause for a moment there again. I know it's instantaneous for you guys, but I keep going back and forth on what I want to do here. All right, so Szechuan, if I send into it, then I'm sending this infantry artillery that way instead of this way, which means being able to get a stack on J2 here becomes more difficult because that's two less ground units. And the fact that he moved his this way is kind of indicating he wants to go that direction. So I think I want to leave Sech open, even though it lets his one fighter survive here. And as much as I want to kill this transport, I think I might come back off of it. Which, I know people just don't like doing it, but I think I'm going to do it. I just feel like I want to do this here. Alright, now what do we want to do with the rest of this is the question. Ah, stop it. So let's see, that's a 3 move. Kind of want to be able to bring in infantry down here to cover up my fighters. But do I need to? Do I need to bother with that necessarily? I got one guy here. 1, 2, 3. We can have that dead zone. So I want one fighter there. Or we could bring the battleship carrier into here. Have 2, 1, 2, and my fighters could still get over there. See, I don't think he strikes back this way with Russia. I mean, he needs to get his units back. He needs to get as many units back as he wants. So I like saving the one that I'm going to bring down this way. And I leave the tank in case we do get to stack this on J2, then we can drop the tank and be able to pick somebody else up. So let's see my fighter movements. This is 2 going to here. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. You know that's not gonna. This guy can't reach West Russia regardless, right? The one that hits here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. I mean, the best he can be is here or the C zone, and we need him in one of these two in order to be able to reach over there. So we can drop him in the C zone, and then that will dead zone 34. This fighter is going 1 and 3. 2. 1, 2, 3. 4. I want to kill this cleanly. That might be excessive, but so be it. actually. No reason to send the carrier quite yet. Just in case something screwy happens over here. I'm going with a 4. I just want to get to kill the carrier. Alright, I thought way too hard on this turn. Just because I overdid that, and I still don't like it. I don't like my choices here, but I'm going to do it anyways. Nice, good, clean kill. He got a hit. Oh well. Nothing we can do about that. Get 3 hits quick and early. Did not want that. Oi. Oi, oi, oi. Crapola. Yep, that's what you get. That's what you get when you go Pearl Light. Alright, well, it was a poor choice. I got too greedy. Alright. Man, I hate this. Gosh. Alright, woo. I took too much risk. I shouldn't have. But, well, hopefully we don't pay too heavily for it. Alright, so here we go in the tournament game. Round 2, Germany coming up here. Interesting play. U.S. was very greedy and bought 3 transports, no carrier, despite they got his carrier there in Pearl Harbor. He did buy a tank. That's the bid buy, so that doesn't count. So 3 transports, 3 infantry, and artillery. Like I said, the downside of me playing aggressive up front is he got to, sorry about all that. He got to take Morocco free and right off the bat here and get that transport back. So he's getting some quick movements going forward, chipping away a little bit already. So that's kind of the downside. The other thing I mentioned last time is he did a pretty good job of where he's got my battleship pretty much dead zone with the UK here. So he can take my battleship out next turn. So I'm going to sacrifice it actually, I think, and sacrifice my transport. I thought about, grabbing 2 guys, dropping them down here, putting 6 guys here, but then he's got 4 plus 3 air, plus he could grab 1 and 1 from here, so he'd have 6 guys plus 3 air. They'd be wiped out. So there is no benefit there. Um, so I'm gonna do a trick play. Well, not really trick play, but I'm gonna take a different play because he decided to go no um, carrier in here, and he's got no U.S. carrier coming. So all he has is the 1 carrier right now for his 2 fighters, and then he's trying to fly over his, use the islands to help get his fighters over there. I don't like that, so I'm going to stack Northwest Europe, and I'm going to bring all 5 of my fighters back, and I'm going to go ahead and buy a bomber. You know, remember we got Caucasus last turn. We're going to get Caucasus this turn. Those aren't normal. Those are bonus points for Germany, right? And being up in Karelia right off the bat. So I mean, we're getting some bonus points already. So I'm going to turn around and spend them back on a bomber, and have 6 planes up here, where he's then going to have to figure out some logistics. In addition, I'm going to go ahead and use the battleship to take out one of his boats. That would be a coverage. Take out that destroyer. And then hopefully, I would imagine he's going to use his destroyer, 1, 2, 3, 4 fighter, bomber to take him out with the U.S. In which case, hopefully, we take out another destroyer on the way down. And if we can take out 2 boats, all the more merrier for us. He could choose to go carrier and 2 fighters and a bomber, and then have his fighters there, and then bring his destroyer cruiser in. So that is a possibility play for him as well. Um, that if he gets them all in here, that's really going to slow any development up in this side, the north half of it. Everything's going to be going into Africa then at that point. So in any case, that's what we're looking at. He did like I suspected with Russia. He pulled them back, and he did go ahead and take him Bello there for free. I believe I had to leave it open if I remember right. Getting my games all mixed up at this point. Oh, he did a fighter, so I must add a guy there. Yeah, okay, so I did have 1 guy there. So he did the 1 shot and won that one. So meanwhile, he did leave this transport, let this transport live, which means, I could go do the Iceland thing, which really no benefit in this game. I want to get all my units, my land units east as fast as I can, with the exception of my guys coming back to help stack the Northwest Europe area here. So we're going to push forward with both my transports and let both transports die after this turn. I wouldn't have expected him to live this long anyway, so we're perfectly happy with him as is at this point. So purchase, I'm going to buy 11 men and a bomber. I had 45 IPCs this time, so like I said, a little bit on the rich side. Yes, I could have bought 15 infantry, but maybe next time. I am going to play to suffocate Russia as much as possible, so I'm going to make him use his units up, and so I'm going to go ahead and throw a guy in there, even though, I always talk about how the attacking or the defending country, you really don't want to take trades for the most part, but it's a freebie. And right now we're kind of attacking to suffocate them as much as possible. And we're not in defense mode yet, even though eventually we will be. So like I said, we're going to throw him into that guy. We're going to push these guys up front. I haven't decided if I want to put one more infantry into that or not yet. I got time to decide that. I can see what happens with everything else. I'm just going to blitz this guy. If I'm not mistaken, that's all the attacks I want to do. Oh, I forgot I was considering if putting another infantry in there. Well, let's just get that hit right off the bat here. Boom. There we go. Good. Didn't need the extra infantry. Would have been a waste. Woo! Good thing we sent 3 fighters after him. Hey! Thank you. Up. We're going to move 5 fighters. We are going to go ahead and move an infantry and artillery on up as fast as we can. We're going to pull 4 of these guys back with 2 of those guys. Move these tanks on up. Move these guys on up. That guy moving up. Now it's got like a 9% chance with me going 9, leaving 9 infantry and my bomber here. He's got like a 9% chance of taking that. I could move the AA back. I kind of want to move it forward because I want to irritate. I'm just going to move it forward. It's mean, but I'm just going to do it. All of these guys might as well head on in. But I hadn't decided, since I went there, I think I already want to commit at least 1 Japan fighter up there. Maybe we do 2. So this will give me 8 units sitting there. 5, because I'm going to put 2 infantry, so I'll have 5 infantry, artillery, 2 tanks. And he's going to have 2 infantry, artillery, tanks, so 4. 2 fighters makes 6.
The bomber makes 7. These fighters can't reach me because all the fighters have to go 3 plus the cruiser. So you have 8. There's 7 plus a cruiser versus my 8. I think we're just going to go ahead and put them all in here. I want to make sure we protect West Russia. Go ahead and stack it up as best as we can. That way, if we can't send over a Japan fighter, we don't have to. Hopefully, maybe, possibly. So I'm playing this pretty aggressive. Giving him a quasi shot at Berlin. Like I said, a 9% shot. I know some people would never give up even that much, but I've got an excellent player. I goofed up my Japan, so my Japan's going to be a bit slow. I think I just, I need to stay on the aggressive side, to be honest. So we're going to go for it. And here's to him beating up boats into my battleship, hopefully. There we go. Oh, you know what? Because I do always forget. Let's see if we can pull up the war report. So again, this is after Germany, so we gotta. So they've got what 70, 80 IPC to spend versus my 33 IPC to spend. Look at that, 49. Woohoo! Germany rich. So he's gonna have 47 more IPC. That's gonna be like 15, 16 attack power increase. So he'll actually be up to be like about 162 would be his comparative. So by the end of the U.S. turn, he'll just be a few attack points below me. But we're all the way up to an 82 combined, and obviously Japan's going to grow. So we're getting our income quick and early here. Germany's a beast right now. Hopefully we can stay that way. One of the things I forgot that I was going to calculate was make sure I don't allow a France stack. I hope I didn't just allow a France stack. Awfully early for it. Alright, so continuing this game that I'm doing something that I am just not real equipped at, and that's being super aggressive with Axis. We are sitting in here, G2. I did do a backtrack. I don't know, this may have been a bad mistake, but I felt like he was robbing me by building 3 transports. I felt that wasn't good, so I built my bomber and got my fighters back here to create some headaches with the logistics. He did skip killing the battleship this turn with the UK, but maybe he comes in with US side. He's got destroyer, cruiser, bomber, and fighter that all can hit there, so easily he can take it out with the US, but hopefully we can take off a boat while doing it. He may just decide he doesn't need to, so he won't bother, but then I will hit whatever's sitting here with battleship and fighters probably. So he's going to get to kill another boat. That's what I care about at some point. Otherwise, he's pretty much useless. Meanwhile, so here's the well, first off, so he bought 7 infantry artillery and a bomber, consolidated his fleet here, so he's got 5 units here. I've got 6 that can hit it right now. If he opens that up and lets my battleship go, I'd have that go as well. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he'll put something here. Maybe leave the destroyer, or like I said, he'll kill the battleship. So with that said, good news is Italy's safe. He did pull some more UK troops out to help here, and he pulled out of Egypt, so that gives Germany the green light to go ahead and start going through here. So he's going to have to start some of these transports are going to have to come down to Africa to take care of these guys. But even by pulling this out, what I looked at is I'll be able to stack Burma this turn, and with my purchase of 3 infantry and 2 bombers, I will have this at like a 75 to 80% shot. If he went max all out defensive build, spent all his money here, nothing going back into here, um, I should have a good chance to clear. And you know what? It'll cost a lot of Japan units, but Russia's bottled up with having to worry about Germany. So I'm okay with that potential prospect. So I'm willing to take that. The other case I looked at is okay, if he pulls all out, what will he be able to attack with and make sure I got enough units to come in here. And that's going to be the magic number there is going to be 10 infantry, 4 artillery, 2 tanks. And then I probably will want to have one German fighter sitting up in Karelia that will be able to, after on G3, that can then come down into India defense, just to be on the safe side. I maybe don't have to, but I kind of want to. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and put the pressure on there. I looked at building another transport right now, but that 1042 bit leaves it where I would not, where I could have 2 transports come back, and so 3 infantry gives me 3 infantry, and the AA we can go ahead and grab and start shucking them over. If I have to go all in, then I have to go all in, and then I'll build the transports with the units they need on J3 then. And maybe looking at around a 5 round victory city. We don't know. That's a long ways away still. Believe that is all the attacks. So we're going to pay attention to how I do these infantry for trying to get my max pressure onto India here. So we need to grab the Philippine guys, of course. I am going to go ahead and take 1 transport of just infantry and put them down here to secure that stack. Plus it gives me 2 transports here that can cross over to Africa, or I can have 2 transports ready to take care of the 3-man guy here, or whatever I need to do with them. Now, these 2 transports are going to grab 2 infantry and 2 tanks, and I'm going to drop off here. The tanks don't need a transport then, so I need to make sure I got 2 infantry back. So we're going to leave this guy on down here, we're going to leave this guy down here, and then that leaves me 1 guy to work with. I think we're going to put him in here just to prevent the retake there, and just to have a little bit of pressure into China. And now we got to figure out our boat situation. Oh wait, don't want to forget these guys. So now our boats and our planes. I want to keep them in range of being able to go over to here. I can't land them on Burma because he had that. So I do want to keep as many in range as possible. Oh yeah, we do need to get at least 1. I think we're going to put 2 up there to be on the safe side. He's got 2 fighters, 2 bombers of UK that could go there next turn. Well, hopefully we'll be able to cover it up still. We'll have the AA at the very least. And then hopefully still some, these infantry can't go so far. Hopefully we can cover them up from 2 fighters, 2 bombers. Anyways, all that said, done. That gives us 5 more. I think I do want 2 on the carrier down here that we're going to have. 1 sitting here. These guys can go 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys go 1, 2, 3, and land. Now we got battleship carrier, battleship carrier. And bring this destroyer out here. He could go for the 1v1, and I'm willing to risk it. Hopefully I don't lose it. But otherwise, that way I'll be able to stop him from coming up into this north part, and I'll be able to drop transports next turn. Freebie up here. I thought about building a 1 transport to this turn, but I decided to go the route I went anyway instead with the 3 infantry. But this will help most likely make it where we can drop a free transport here next turn. All right, and that's our turn. All right, so here we are starting round 3. Russia's taking their turn. They bought 3 infantry, 4 artillery, so that's what, 11 attack power. Looking back at the war report, so you subtract out of that, so that'd be 163 at the start of the turn to 169. Huge money for Germany, which is nice. Japan's okay; they'll be growing. So, but 86 income is nice. Of course, they've still got more income than that, but for this early, that's a very nice number, obviously. The other thing too is obviously Axis is knocking on their doorstep right now, and we're getting ready to push them out of India. Now, there's some interesting plays from this point. First off, let's just talk about this Africa Corps. What can they do? They could stay or they can move. I mean, that's really all they got. If they stay, really they all have to stay because he's got 1 infantry, 5 fighters, and a bomber that can just, crush them. So if we left 2 or maybe even 3 guys there, it'd really be worth them just to go ahead and hit it and smash them. So it's not really, so I'd only be able to move 2 guys up this way, and then if I lose one of them or don't even lose one of them, then he's still got these guys, the UK, that can hit him with a couple planes and this infantry. So I think it's just going to be worth it just to move them forward, cause a little bit of havoc, and let them die. I mean, that is what's going to happen to them. There's not much more they're going to do. We'll get what we can get and be happy that they survived what they survived. That being said, as you can see, he moved U.S. and Russia units in here into Persia, which means he's looking to set up a counter onto India. I did it on my phone. I did the calculator, but so what I need to do is make sure I got enough German fighters in range of India that they could fly down if need be, and I want to make the 1, 2, 3 as little tantalizing as possible. Because I really don't want to fly fighters down there. Right? We don't want German fighters down here because they're basically taken out of trading for 2 turns. The good news is the U.S. can't hit anything other than here. I'm going to abandon so that the UK can hit these 2, so we'll have 2 territories that we need to trade. So I like having 2 fighters and a bomber. So really, I'm okay to 3 these fighters, potentially going down to India now. Unfortunately, we are going to have to risk some fighters against this AA, so hopefully that does not hit. Or else that'll limit what we can go down to. So I was planning on, potentially 2 fighters maybe going down there if need be, if he decides to contest. Because I'm going to go ahead and, I've already kind of invested in this by buying the two bombers and stacking here. I plan on going ahead and stacking India. I looked even with the 10 infantry, so using two transports of infantry coming back, or well, one coming from DEI and one from back here, carrying it in there, so I can have two transports go back. Um, it looks pretty good if I fly two fighters down. I may, to avoid having to even worry about the fighters, go ahead and just only take one transport back and move 12 infantry on up into here. We'll see. Um, because I do want this stack to continue to be able to move forward too, which is a good thing. Germany's sitting here on Russia, so Russia can't come down because this stack is going to come here. They can't go into Caucasus. They could come into Kaza though, and then of course that creates its own headache for Japan as we're all down here and they're up here, and then they got all this, wide open lands that don't have much reinforcement yet. So, in any case, that's getting a little bit ahead of myself. So the next thing I looked at is, could I stack Caucasus this turn? Could I blitz these tanks in, bring all these guys, bring these guys, and then be ready to fly 5 Japan fighters and a bomber in here? And what does that look like? Unfortunately, because he did pull out these UK troops last time, it allowed me here, but it does dead zone here, so it's going to allow him a retreat zone. Because if I could have stacked this, then they would have been stuck. All these units would be stuck between, except for the tanks, would be and planes would be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Um, but I can't, as it is. He'd be able to wipe me out between the UK hit and then the Russians hitting him. They'd be able to hit me pretty good, and I wouldn't have a lot coming behind it yet. So it's not worth it. So that's not an option. So we are going to trade it. I'm going to take the IPC there. I am going to continue aggressively. I'm going to trade it up here in Arch 2 just because I've got an aggressive position on Russia. I want to keep an aggressive position on Russia. Um, the other thing, I could be thinking about setting up the victory city as I do plan on taking India. I'll need to get Pearl, and I'd have to stack both of these guys out here. That's going to be the challenge because honestly, I want to take advantage of how much I have front here, so I plan on continuing to push units to the east, which makes coming back and stacking both of these guys hard for a little while. And honestly, I don't like playing for the victory city wins. They tend to get too iffy on me. Um, Perhaps I mean, this is one of those games I probably should set it up. I just, I don't know. If I can get the victory city in the position I'm in, I feel like I could just press on ahead and, eventually take Moscow and be confident in the win. Because we'll be coming through India, we'll be contesting Africa, so he's going to have to contest Africa. Meanwhile, Germany is getting big with 49 IPCs, plus they're going to be getting these guys. We're going to get, 11, 13 more IPCs this round, so that's going to give me, a 46 this turn. So, all said and done, feeling pretty good here. So I am going to build up some firepower because I do want to be careful of the fact he's got 5 fighters here. And actually, I do want to do a calculation. I don't think I have a problem here, but I do want to double check that he can't stack France next turn with my plan that I'm going with. Okay, so yeah, I do need to be a little bit careful of a allied stack on France. So, I mean, those 5 fighters is a potent hit there. I still want to push as many as I can going this way, and I will. Um, it's just not quite as much as I had hoped, and I'm not going to have quite as much pressure going back here as I would like. Um, After the round goes, I'm going to look a little closer at how I can manage my tanks and fighters to keep as much to be able to get down here the next turn as possible. Um,
but it's not going to be as clean as I had hoped. Part of it's gonna I want to see what happens here, and then I'll run my calculators again and figure out what we're gonna do. But one there, one there. I think I need to do two there. I don't even want to do the third just to not risk the extra fighter on the AA because I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, 1-1 and AA, 4 infantry, 2 fighters. That should still give me like a 90-some% chance of taking France because I definitely don't want to leave. Yeah, 93% chance I still take France. With two, adding another fighter does probably, I mean, I'm sure it increases my chance, but it also increases my chance of getting hit by an AA. Yeah, it increases 4% chance of taking France for an added AA shot. So I'm just not going to do it. So we are going to go ahead and take that. Actually, I do want to go ahead and make sure I take this just to prevent a landing spot for all the UK air and dead zoning Corellia there. So we are going to, normally I'd only do 1 infantry, but it's important to keep both these in Axis hands so that UK can't land fighters and then cover them up somehow. I'm not thinking it too hard, but I just feel like he could put enough units there to cover there and cover Moscow. I may be wrong. One of the other things I did look at, by the way, was what about just throwing all my units into West Russia, 2 tanks, 2 bomber by, and attacking Moscow next turn on G4. It actually got me down to a 50-50 shot. Negative IPC value for Germany, obviously, so it's not worth it, but it's close. It's pretty close there. So that's the good news. We got a lot of heat up here. The bad news is we got a blank in the supply line here, so he's going to get a whole turn of adding units that I'm not going to be able to add units, and so that'll back us up. But hopefully Japan will be making some pressure, and we'll be on our way. All right, enough talking. I guess the other thing I could do is send an infantry artillery back that way, and that would still give me 3 units going this way. I mean, I could use my bomber to do that and just send 2 infantry, or send 1 infantry, actually, and use artillery up here. I feel like I can, 5 units, I can create more of a headache since he only has 2 here, so he's going to need to bring more this way, which decreases that France stacking idea. Hopefully. Good news is I've got enough money coming next round that even if he had hit a plane, I feel like I could have built some. But ugh. Okay, thank you. And he does have some ugh. He does have more AAs from US coming around. Ugh. Thank you. Whew. Dice, I tell you, they're meant to scare you.
Like I said, normally, you know, Germany's the defender here, and so you trade lightly. But right now, they're really the attacker at this stage in the game, and so I'm trading aggressively with Russia. That is. Oy. Maybe a good thing I sent all five. There we go. All right, because I'm going to do some more calculations. I'm not going to hold you guys hostage while I'm clicking. What I am going to do is I'm going to put as much that as I can. I'm going to be building 2 infantry here, so that gives me 4 infantry to help cover the 4 ground that can attack, and then I need to have enough defense there just to hold things off. But I want to get as much going forward as I can. Um, the other thing that what I'm going to work on figuring out is where I want to put my 5 planes and my 10 tanks. The calculation I did a minute ago, this should leave me enough forces here to most likely dead zone here, unless I decide to not bring tanks back here, in which case I may need to leave a few more infantry here. So that's what I'm going to figure out is how many infantry, how many tanks I want to pull all the way back to here. If I pull them back to here, then they can't get to Caucasus, which I really am trying to eyeball Caucasus, but it's probably going to be with UK coming back and abandoning. I don't see me being able to get in there anytime real soon. But at the same time, I am bringing, you know, 6 units in here that aren't in here this turn, and I'm not running the calculators that far ahead right now. But so if I put tanks here, it weakens my chance of sacking Caucasus. If I don't put tanks there, then I can't move as many infantry. I could put fighters here, but I can't move as many infantry because I need them back here to dead zone because the tanks are gonna help dead zone France if I put tanks there. So I'm gonna play with that mixture. Just keep an eye out when I start Japan's turn on where my tanks and fighters ended up here. All right, so here we come up on Japan 3's turn. UK, they bought 7 infantry, artillery, and a bomber, so he's got another bomber here. You gotta be careful, there's a lot of bombers starting to show up on this board here. 3 UK bombers. At some point, that's going to be painful, I imagine. Um, he did go ahead and drop the 3 infantry and left his AA here in India to make this a little bit tricky. So, and if you recall, he brought his US and his Russian troops down here and whatnot. So, we're going to be facing off against those guys here in a moment. We got to decide what we're going to do with that exactly. The other thing we have coming is, do we need fighters in West Russia now or not? So, I mean, as it is, it leaves him about a 25% shot. If I leave one fighter there, it takes it down to a 10% shot. So I think I am going to leave one fighter, even though I may, who knows, end up going to Caucasus or pulling back to Karelia. And we'll need to put a little bit of coverage on him because he does have the 3 bombers, 4 fighters that's going to be able to hit him. But I don't know. We'll see. I think I'm just feeling more comfortable about having him there. I got a feeling I'm probably going to be staying in West Russia anyways. So I think I'm comfortable there right now. And so leaving one fighter one more turn, it may be worth the risk. So that being said, I think I forget what I had.
That's a let's say 15. And I did hit the buy destroyer, which we're going to talk about 29, 37. Yeah, 37 points. So I throw my destroyer out there, and I lost the 50-50, which stinks. So it means I'm building a destroyer. Maybe I shouldn't have put him out there, but I really wanted to keep him from being able to go up here, and I wanted to corner him. Instead, he gets the advantage, so I am going to have to spend on that. But we're going to take India. So I'm going to bring my calculator for India for him retaking, because he's setting up the retake, right? Which would be 2 US, plus he's got this bomber over here, infantry bomber. He's got an infantry, 3 tanks, and a fighter he could go. And then he's got his 10, 2, 1, 2 fighters, 2 bombers that could go in there. Eh, come on. This is what I would get for making my poor old computer work too hard. Oh, I just lost my calculator. Alright, my poor little computer. Come on. Here he is. So this is looking at that battle US, Russia, UK, and if all I had left was 9 infantry survived with 4 and 2, we'll talk about that 9 infantry in just a minute. I'm willing to fly at the 3 German fighters in there, and so this is what it would look like. So him not even winning it back, maybe 50-50-ish. If we put a 1 must survive, I didn't do that, so him actually winning it maybe like 50%, but he's going to be awfully costly in order for it to happen. So, yeah, okay, so 62, 63% chance, but he's going to lose 34 IPC, including these the US bomber, these 3 Russian tanks, and a fighter, which obviously just is not really going to do him well to do that. So, as long as I got that much living, I feel safe. Um, it does mean, now that being said, hold on, let me go back to this real quick. The other thing that we want to do is we want to figure out, so taking the 3 shots not worth it. What does he need to take just a shot with the UK? Da 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 da. Get this back to 1 wave. So that's what he'd be coming at me with the UK. So I'm going to be attacking with 12 infantry, 4 artillery, 2 tanks. So maybe we'll have enough others to take care of this. And so this would not by itself would not be enough, as we can already see here. But what if we already know we can fly some fighters in there, so we may have to fly some fighters in there. If we don't lose anybody, we're in pretty good territory. So we're probably going to lose 1 or 2, so we're probably going to need to fly a couple German fighters in there no matter what. But nonetheless, it's better to take it now, because if we don't take it now, then we got 5 US fighters coming in to enter the battle, another bomber, and 2 more UK fighters coming to enter the battle. So if we don't take it now, it's going to be a battleground over and over and over, and we're going to get ourselves kind of stuck there for a while. So we're going to take it now, which means I'm going to be committing all my 3 of my 4 transports to the battle, and 1 of my transports is going to go back, grab 2 of the guys and get them across. That'll leave me 2. We're going to build 2 transports, so we'll have 3 transports. So we're going to build 4 more units for them. And like I said, we do need to build a destroyer to protect for that sub coming in. So, kind of just a quick talk through all that. And again, I apologize, my computer's working on a video in the background, and so that's what's making this be extra slow right now. I should be patient and wait till it's done doing what it's doing.
but I'm not. So I'm gonna put him up here so it's a 1v1. Since I couldn't take, I could take either of these, but if I put him here, he's got more to balance the fight out with. Since he left the AA, we're not gonna use any air. We're just gonna hope we can get 4 hits with all of this. So we'll have 18 units hitting, so hopefully we can get 3 hits out of that, or 4 hits, excuse me, out of that right off the bat. Anything useful these guys can do? We're not going to hit him. We're not going to hit him. Yeah, we're just going to save up our bombers. Oh, you know what? We can use our battleship shots, so these bombers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're safe. The sub can get through, but we're going to drop the destroyer here, so we'll be safe. So we'll be safe with the naked transports. Actually, he's going to be up there anyways. He's not even going to be in that area, that zone, so we'll be safe regardless. We'll have 2 battleships and a carrier sitting here. I'm going to get myself in trouble with my computer being so slow and me clicking it too much. So here we go. There's the hits. Okay, we got them all. Whiff. 1 shot. Okay. So we're going to need to bring at least 1 German fighter down, maybe 2. We're going to see how things pan out. If he takes a crack at it with his US and Russians, that'll certainly play a role. Got to think a little bit where I want to have my fighters go. Actually, I think we'll bring them on back here with... Where do we want to put these bombers at? That would be relatively safe because we got these bombers we got to watch out for. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. So they'd be safe down here in the tip. That'd help us going this way. Let's see here. So we got 2 fighters, 1 fighter, 2 fighters there. Where do we want to put our bombers? What would be the most effective? Not sure what our status is going to be up here. I don't really want to put them in West Russia and risk it right now. They could put them up here. 2, 3, 4, 5. They'd be threatening there still. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. But UK could go in there in between, so they'd protect them, even if the Germans went in. I'm not going to sit there at Egypt. And I think my best shot may be down here in Malaysia, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Doesn't give me much going on there, though. One, two, three, four, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so we got a carrier, 2 fighters. We're going to drop a destroyer there. Subs there. We'll drop a couple transports. I don't know about those bombers. I don't normally have those bombers running around, so I wasn't really sure what to do with them. Probably something much better I could have done with them, I'm sure. But there we go. Okay, so quick rehash. US 3, they bought 7 infantry and a tank and built a complex for Norway. Let's see. Attacked Kaza, cleared that. You know, Libya, Finland, expected things. C Zone 12. What was C Zone 12? I don't even know what I had sitting in there. Oh, 1 transport, sorry. Oh, France, of course. Yeah, France and Northwest Europe. All pretty straightforward. He did move his fighters over 1 more here. So the one of the big setups here is he's got 2 infantry, a tank, and 5 fighters that can hit here for me to put my 5 units, right? I can move them this way, and these guys are going to crush me, which I kind of wouldn't mind so much that he uses his UK on these African German units, right? Because that's a little less going into here. So I might utilize that to my advantage a little bit. We'll see. I haven't really fully decided what I want to do here. I kind of want to take Libya back, and that'll protect Egypt another turn, or at least kill this guy, right? Because he can't blitz anybody else through, and take 1 here. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to do that, but I need all my planes for my battles up here, so I can't. I'm going to have to do like an infantry artillery, I think, shot at Libya. And hopefully, at the very worst, kill him, and best, take the IPC back. So yeah, so that was U.S. moves. He's got, like I said, he got that tank down there. So let's see, combats. Did he lose anybody? He lost somebody in Kaza. Everything else was freebies. Russia, 2 artilleries, 4 infantry, pretty standard. Bye. Took the Caucasus back. Had to use 2 infantry, 2 artillery for those 2 infantry, so that's nice. I mean, so he ended up spending a bonus 8 to get the 4, so I'm not upset about that at all. I think I had 2 infantry sitting there. Arch, pretty straightforward. Evenkai, he took. So yeah, so the fact that he lost 2 and destroyed 2, lost 2, and he put 2 arts up there for Germany to kill. I'm not complaining about that at all. Lost 1 in arch as well, so pretty good. All right. So
I had a lot of purchases. I really want to keep this pressure up to the front as much and as long as possible, but I got to watch out for giving up the possibility for a stack back here. So that's why heavy artillery build with a bunch of artillery here, because I want to hold the grounds, because I'm taking one of my fighters down to India. And that's just simply because right now this is a 50-50 battle if he went all in. And if he to take as well, have one tank survive, 50-50 battle. But if he took it, you'll notice I have no Japan in range that could take it back. So that would be bad news. So I want to fly one fighter down here as well, just to make sure we don't lose it. So that means I'm also going to have a fighter landing in West Russia so that the Japan fighter can get out, because his UK is likely to come in here, and then it'd be near impossible to get him out next turn. Or possibility is UK comes in here. I mean, it'll be dead zoned, but do I really want to hit that? Maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. So in any case, I just prefer to get the Japan fighter out if we don't need it there. So that gives only going to leave me three fighters and a bomber back for dead zoning these next turns. So hence the heavy artillery build. And the fact that I got lots of money, so why not? Spent 45, saved one, because I'm hoping to get 44 at the end of this turn, and that would give me 45, and, lots of possibilities there. Although I am going to be giving up Karelia this turn. So I guess I would not have a 15 unit buy like I was thinking in my head. I'm going to go ahead and use the artillery just to increase the likelihood of taking this. Alright, so I need to have 4 infantry coming down here with my 3 build and my AAs and my fighters, because he's got a heavy load down here that can attack. So that should be good. I need to leave 6 units in here, plus my 10 being built, so I have a 16. So 4, 3, 6, that leaves 6. Okay. And then I got these 4 that I can, based on how things go, decide, do I want to go up here, or do I want to go down here, or do I want to keep them back? Double check I'm not... Oh! I am missing something. That's why we double check. We're just going to grab all the money we can grab right now. I mean, yes, I know the UK can kill him. But Japan's going to be the one really starting to hopefully put some pressure on Africa as well. Go. Take that. I don't like hanging that many men up in the Baltic. I thought about going lighter on it, and I probably should have. That's probably a little too heavy of a trade. But hopefully they'll not have good luck trading back. I don't know. I probably could have thought that out a little bit better. Hey! Sent 2 fighters for a reason. Oy.
Come on, get the hit. Finish him. Thank you. I do not want to lose France. Whew. Make me sweat a little bit there. Man, pretty good hitbacks by him this time. Nice. Yeah, I think I'm pushing him up here. Make UK use a little extra. I'd rather UK use a little bit of resources on Germany, I think. Or I could just keep him back too, right? Why don't I just keep him back? He doesn't have to get attacked. And maybe we can get lucky on something somewhere. I guess that makes a little more sense. Let's bring you back. You continue on down here. You're going to divert over to here. You guys are all... coming down this way. Did I miscalculate there? I'm gonna have to double check my calculator. I feel like my numbers are off there. Four plus a 3 build will give me 7, 2, 3. 9. All right. That'll give me my 16 units there. I need to double check this. I feel like I'm off a little bit, which I may have to adjust accordingly then. As you could see last time, by the way, I forgot to mention that I didn't have a great job to be able to do everything I wanted to last time. So, all right. Well, I'm going to end the recording here, though. So here we go. Oh, looks like this might be a little bit slower today. I apologize if it gets jumpy based on my note I just got. But anyways, here we go. So UK 4 went. They bought 6 infantry, 2 artilleries. They did pull out of Persia instead of attempting India. I'm pretty sure that one fighter was the deciding point, to be honest, there, which is good. He did take out TJ without a loss. Caucasus without losing his infantry. And let's see, Sink he took without a loss. That stinks. Italian East Africa. Oh, is that this guy? Oh, this guy, the horn. There we go. Took that without a loss. Man. 3 infantry artillery. Went to the Baltics. He lost a couple there. I forget what I had. Oh, I had the extras there that I didn't really want to have extras of. I had an infantry artillery, so at least we took out 2 of them. Semi okay. Let's see. France looks like he took that without a loss. And Northwest Europe he took without a loss. Yeah, so he had no loss, no loss, no loss, no loss, no loss, no loss. He lost 2 in the Baltic, so he had a good trading round. Yikes. That stings a little bit. Still like our position overall, but man, sure would have been nice if they could have had a few losses in there. So we're on Japan's turn, and I'm going to be aggressive with Japan. I want to get this stack moving right into Persia. I don't want to get stuck sitting here in India. The difficult part with that is the UK, right? So he's got 2, 3, 9 infantry, 2 artillery, a tank, 3 bombers, and 2 fighters that could counter that. So I am going to, and I think the value moving forward outweighs this, but we are going to try to take out these 3 with Japan right now. Germany will be able to take him out, right? We got our guys that can take care of that, and we're gonna strike him. This is tough here because we went in here. I've got nothing in here protecting. Now I'm going to move these guys in, so that'd be semi-protection. And we're going to have a couple transports drops, which I could put down in here, which maybe that limits him to grabbing one and backpedaling. But with those 3 bombers, it very well could be worth striking a 2.1 with them and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? So, against 2 units, a tank and 3 bombers isn't a bad deal, and it delay Japan and whatnot. So, plus this guy's helping threaten Persia. So, we're going to use um, our bombers, I believe, to help take him out. Let's see. I kind of lost my train of thought here for a second. Okay, yeah. I kind of wanted to keep this fighter over here in case we had a shot at around 5 Victory City. I'm not really pushing hard for the Victory City win. I'm pushing hard for the win-win. I'm really not good at Victory Cities, I'll be honest. Every time I try to square them up, I end up taking too big of a risk and something stupid happens. So if it presents itself, I'll take it. But otherwise, I'm not going to intentionally pull these guys out of here just so that I can secure my Victory City win. I actually think I'm leaning towards holding this yet another turn against Russia, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this Japan fighter back to here, even though the UKs are in here, but I think I am going to stay one more turn, and that'll limit how many German fighters I need to get in here, because I think I need to have 3 or 4 fighters in here next turn to hold this, so we'll see. All right, so in any case, here's what we're looking at. We're looking at 7 units, 3 down here, 4 for in here. We're going to use 2 of our transports to take 4 of these guys. One of our transports, we're going to go grab island guys and be looking at Pearl, West USA, Alaska next turn. Since the only defense he has is the sky, we should be in pretty good shape there. I think I'm going to bring one of these fighters back to the mainland in prepping of maybe a round 6-ish threat of a Victory City. I don't know. I'm just, like I said, not good at trying to do the Victory Cities, and I'm just going to keep as much pressure on Russia as I can, I think, while developing Africa. We are going to build an industry. I do want to get that other 3-uniter fired up and running, is the other part of my money. I'm going to send him in there with a battleship. Send him in there with a battleship and 2 fighters. This one I'm just hoping to kill and take. I mean, I want to take it, don't get me wrong. I do want to take that, of course. And then we're going to send everything else left. So we got 14. We'll call that 13 units in case he gets a hit. And we're going to assume we're going to kill him. And so that leaves 8. We're going to kill him. 10, 13 units, 14 if he brings in his tank with some pretty strong bombers and tank runs in there. And the IPC-wise, it comes to their benefit. The good news is I always can land a German fighter in here if I really feel I need to, but I really don't want to. I want to get the fighters, my German fighters, back up towards the Europe area. So, like I said, it's not that I really want to take that battle, but I just think there's too many different ways that that's valuable that I need to go ahead and do that. All right. Unlikely a battleship's going to rock him. Go battleship. It's not a backbreaker if we don't win, but we really do want to win. I mean, at least kill him. Oh, battleship!
and he let me down. These guys I do really want to make sure I kill, though, because this potentially saves Egypt one more round for Germany to get income off. Battleships, what's going on? What happened to my battleships? Makes me nervous for those bombers rolling fours now. Ah, he got the hit. Rats. So that makes me glad I did take only one infantry towards the Horn of Africa, even though it was a loss, and he could have done better in Madagascar. Madagascar's next turn, by the way, in case you were wondering, or the plan is. Thank you. Whiff. Yes. Oh, that's a blessing. I don't care about the battleships anymore. I get to keep my bomber. I was just assuming I was going to lose a bomber in that. And there's a bonus, so I'll take it. I will take that round of combats. You're gonna head back that way. Hadn't really thought about where I wanted to land him at. Land these guys at. I think we're gonna bring him down this way. Just because, again, I don't know 100% that I'm gonna keep that. I just don't want to send the fighters. Alright, the fighters here. Oops. I mean, they're dead here. I could bring them back to here, and they'd be in striking range of the bombers. So I'd have to bring the fighter all the way back to here, or keep him up front. I'm just going to keep him up front, just because he can help out. But these guys aren't going to help defend West Russia one way or the other, and they could be risky in those spots. So I think we're going to bring them on down here to India. I'm going to have one guy go 1, 2. So next plan is Madagascar, Pearl, and then coming back to DEI, and the 2 meeting up to finish off Australia, I believe. So I'm going to get this fighter back on land, though. 1, 2, 3, that's him. The bombers can take care of Vologda. Alright. I want to go ahead and get that AA moving up for the defense factor. I'm going to save the tank because the tank can rush to catch up, right? And, I mean, if he chooses to stack here, which I'm hoping my pressure with putting I'm going to drop a couple tanks here. I'm hoping to get him out of here fairly quickly with the Germans coming up, and if I stay one more turn with Germany, or actually, yeah, that's what I was thinking. With Germany, you know what? The more I think about it, I think I needed one more turn, but actually, this next turn, Germany, we can go up to Karelia, send what we need to Caucasus to allow these guys to come on up. Maybe. Alright, so that's my last thing I just gotta decide is if I want this fighter in West Russia or not. So, I'm gonna stop the video here though. So, sub edit to 4, I screwed up.
I knew I had it in my head, and I did it again. I completely forgot there's a U.S. infantry here. It goes here. His bomber's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. One bomber kills 3 transports, and I just totally screwed it up again. In my mind, I was saying, okay, we got the bombers, so we need to be mindful. So killing the tank, he doesn't have a 6 spot. I forgot about the U.S. man. Ah, and there's nothing I can do about it at this point, unfortunately. There is absolutely nothing I can do but wait to watch them get sunk. So stinking frustrating. I mean, I got a big lead in this, I feel like, but ah, that's a painful one. Again, I did it again. So, in any case, so we're gonna have to be spending back. This is gonna affect our plans over here. This is gonna affect a lot of things. So, I did it again, just like in the duos final. Let my transports get sunk. Oh, frustrating. Anyways, just wanted to update since I caught that right as soon as, and this is my frustration. I wish non-combat you could see the pieces move and then go again, because as soon as it was here and I saw them sitting there, I'm like, wait, I need boats here. But there's nothing, you can't go back, unfortunately. Mm. Alright, so he did as expected. US took here, so that bomber has a free kill on my transports and landing back in here. That stinks. And you can tell he knows by the fact he's blitzing this way, because these guys won't be able to come up and transport, so he's going to get to there free. I can build it here. He'll be able to get to there, so he's going to be able to really pull in a lot of units or IPC just with these 2 guys, and he can actually retreat one of them back. So he's also coming down and stacking Kaza, because again, he knows I'm not going to have anything coming in here, so there's a good chance he's actually looking to come in and stack Sichuan with the UK even, I'd say, is a decent possibility since I have no reinforcements coming. Which, we're going to get reinforcements, and it's just going to be a big delay, and we're going to get, some other stuff going this way and whatnot. So, anyways, it's ugly. It's ugly. He's going to be able to push China pretty hard, and the northern part here, and I'm going to have to get that back. At the same time, I'm going to go ahead and look at the Victory City. I know I said I don't like Victory City wins. I always hate Victory City wins. But I should be able to take Hawaii 5, right? So we should be able to take Hawaii 5. Nothing he can do about it. He can't take it back. And even if we have to go to 6, I take it 5. I'm going to have these 3 sitting right outside his doorstep, waiting for him. And I can always build a fighter or even 2 fighters that could do a 1, 2, 3, 4, so I could kill any fleet that came in there. So Hawaii secured. India should be secured. Here, again, he's here on this turn. Hopefully, the UK will be able to kill him. So it comes to the Russian. So Russian on Russian 6 can get to one of these, but he can't get to there until 7. So that's the earliest that he can get. The UK can go 5, they could go 6. They can't get there till 7. So as long as I kill this guy, I'm that safe till 7. India's safe. This is all safe. So it comes down to the European cities here. This is where it gets a bit tight. I was looking at going for the 6, but seeing that his 4 transports are on East USA this turn, I've decided I'm going to shoot for here turn 5. I'm going to make a play, and at the very least make it costly for him to prevent it, if nothing else. So we're going for it here. Obviously, we got enough units here to go up here. I'm going to send a couple tanks to secure it, and then we just got to secure from the UK. Berlin, France, and Italy is where it gets tight. We do have 47 IPC, so I'm going to be building 12 ground and a fighter for a defensive force.
I believe I've gotten it down. Let me look at my calculations here. I got um, Berlin down to, let's see, I forgot to recalculate it with my extra fighter here. Berlin's down to a 7% chance for him at minus 32. I think uh, France is going to be the one I'm going to be the most questionable on, to be perfectly honest. Um, France, we have it down to, at worst case, a big negative IPC value for him. Best case, um, we're hoping to get it, and if we don't take any hits, we'll be able to knock it down to a good tight low chance of him taking. At the very worst, it's like a 40% IPC loss for him to attack it and whatnot. And then Italy, the interesting thing about Italy, as long as I can kill this guy this turn with my infantry bomber, then whoop, Japan has two transports that I can bring up. Plus, I can bring this fleet in here, so he'd have to battle through the fleet. I mean, he'll kill it, but he'd have to go through it. Um, and the also the we got two fighters and two bombers. I'm not going to count on this fighter because he could bomb it. I'm going to put two infantry over top of it, so I'm not even counting this fighter into any of my calculations. So if this fighter lives, so much the better. So France is the big one that he could break it, but it'll be at a very high 40 to 50 IPC average cost for him. So that's what we are going to be playing for, hoping for, and see how things go for here. Like I said, I don't like going for these. I always miss something. I'm sure I'm missing something. I'm gonna miss something. It's just like inevitable. I miss something. Now, even if I lose a fighter, I still keep. I got Berlin still at like a 18-20% chance at best. So we're gonna get risky and we're gonna go one infantry with four fighters versus them, so that we can have one more infantry heading uh, in this way. We are going to move all of these guys, and I think I wanted to send like 3 tanks as well, just to be on the safe side. Yeah, 3 tanks brings it down to a 10% shot for him. And I can always move more in afterward, but I just want to save them to see what else is going on, because I kind of want to do this. I hate taking them. I could just use the tanks, right? And get myself a little bit exposed. That gives me 20 guys, at least 18 survive. And I'm going to pause for a second. I want to pull my calculator back up again. All right, it's getting a little too risky for me, so I'm going to go ahead and put 2 tanks into here. I hate doing that, but I really do want to kill them to help me out here. If it all fails, he gets a nice easy kill on a couple tanks, though. That's the downside of it, right? But this gets me 21 units going into here. So here goes. Fingers crossed. Hopefully no losses in France. That's what we really want to see. We got to kill this guy. This is bonus. And Northwest Europe. A nice good kill. There we go. Okay. Say bonus to get the territory, but had to kill him.
Come on. Thank you. Alright, I'm hanging 2 tanks out there. Get the 2 hits. That's what I really care about, is the 2 hits. Mm. Yes, whew. I gambled, but like I said, I was okay if I lost 1 fighter. I didn't want to lose a fighter, but I was okay if I lost a fighter. Alright. No hits, no hitbacks, no hitbacks. Oh, are you kidding me? I've been happy with only 1 hit back. Alright, still only 1 hit back. Thank goodness. Alright, I'm going to pause the video. I need to go work on dinner for a minute and come back and relook at where I'm going to put everybody. Okay, it was good that we only... Last year, I was counting that we'd almost go down to 18. We're going to throw our AAs in there. Oh, this guy, by the way, so this guy... So we're going to move them there. I think I'm going to leave the AA there and just move an extra tank or 2 up into here. I'm going to redouble check my... You know, I'm just going to move all the tanks into there. I'm going to leave the AA there. Now this guy, you know, because I was looking at... Well, okay, so those 2 fighters can't reach me, so I'd have 3 bombers, 2 fighters. So if I put 3 tanks and a fighter there, that put 4 versus his 5, which would be decent. So I'm going to relook at before I do the final. You know, mainly I was looking at this. These are going to be unsafe zones, so my temptation is just to land them back here and make this just a little safer, which I think I want to do anyways, just because he could attack, and I want to not let him get the tanks because I want the tanks to be able to go to Italy. So I'm going to put 3 infantry in here. He could air bomb them, by all means. He does air bomb them. Then Italy, and I can move 2 infantry, 2 tanks, because then he wouldn't be hitting Persia. And then my 2 fighters and 2 bombers I can land in there. So 2, 2, 2, 2. Italy on US 5 has... Actually, it's not even one infantry, 1 artillery. It's going to be 2 infantry, 5 fighters, and possibly a bomber. But I'm going to tell you, he's got at least, at the best, could be like this. Because he needs at least 1 air to clear my boats going into there. So we're looking at a 17% chance. Even if we throw the fighter in there, if he decides to risk it and take all his boats versus my boats, which is at a disadvantage, he's still only got a 41% chance. So that's what we can throw into Italy there. If he attacks France, then we'll know with everything that UK can do, we'll know what we need if we need anything in there to help protect France from US. So we're going to see. I do want to make... Okay, I want to save AA. I forget where the AA is. After infantry. I actually want the AA after last. Do I have a profile that has AA last? What about the generic one? What's the good old generic one? Doesn't that have like AA save for destroy second to last? There we go. Fighters, bombers. I'm not too worried about the bomber part of it. Don't gotta worry about sea combat. So we'll use that one because I want to try to save those AAs. Everybody saw it here. The AA should get saved after the infantry and artillery go, because I want them for the U.S. attack. All right. Is he online right now? He is online. We'll see if I did this right or not. Good chance I didn't do it right, but we're just going to hope for the best. All right, cross your fingers for me. All right, guys. I think this is our chance. UK did not make any Victory City blocks. I think it was because he was looking at the fact there's 3 infantry and that he's going to be able to take that easily. I don't think he realized that I do have my 2 transports that can non-combat and drop 4 units in there. I think he overlooked that. He did, of course, go ahead and wipe out my transports as to be expected, and I am going to, of course, better kill them as I'm going to use this fighter because I am just going to send everything I can into Italy. You know, he's got no chance up here. There's 23 units. He's got 1 and a bomber. You know, here there's 22 units and he's got 12 units. You know, here he's going to have those units, but I'm going to have more. So we're going to have, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. We're going to have 12 defense in Italy. And he's going to have his 8 plus a cruiser. So, you know, we should be pretty good here. So yeah, so I'm still going to play this as if I'm going to continue on, which means I need to build 3 transports to max out my 6 guys here. As long as I kill this bomber, which I better, I should be okay. There shouldn't be any more issues coming because there's nothing over on this side, no subs or bombers or anything hiding over there. The other bombers went this way. He did bomb Berlin. So we're really just looking at the 1 bomber. So we got to kill him, so we're going to use our fighter, our infantry to hit that guy. Six units for my 6, my factories that I got going already. %98 chance to win that, straight up. So we should be in good hands there. You know, I don't ever, don't rule out what the dice gods can do though. Don't discredit them. They're good at making bad things happen. Tiny Mo. I think that is all the attacks. Just double checking everything. The US cannot reach there anyhow. They cannot reach that. Those guys they're not going to be able to touch. Alright, finish it quick and early. First round, kill the American guy. No drama. Come on, I said no drama. No drama. Thank you. Here's a hit. Alright, I think that should seal it. Throw them in there for good measure. And hopefully we're 9 of 9. Check, 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 check. All checks, all green checks. This should be good. All right, we're going to see if we did it or not.